Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the Russell Berrie Foundation Making a Difference. Hackensack Meridian Health. Keep getting better. PNC. Grow up great. Seton Hall University. Showing the world what great minds can do since 1856. Suez North America. Dedicated to shaping a sustainable environment. The Turrell Fund. Supporting reimagined childcare. United Airlines. Connecting people, uniting the world. The Fidelco Group. And by NJ Best, New Jersey's 529 College Savings Plan. Promotional support provided by NJ On Air. And by Meadowlands Chamber, building connections, driving business growth.
This is One-on-One. I'm an equal American just like you are.
The jobs of tomorrow are not the jobs of yesterday.
Look at this. You got this?
Here it is, man. Look at that.
Life without dance is boring.
I don't care how good you are or how good you think you are, there is always something to learn.
Do you enjoy talking politics?
No.
People call me because they feel nobody's paying attention.
Our culture, I don't think, has ever been tested the way it's being tested right now.
Such a good question. High five.
Hi, Steve Adubato here. Welcome to a very special series of programs. We celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Russell Berrie Making a Difference Awards. 25 for 25, 25 people we feature. This gentleman you're seeing on camera, this is Pino Rodriguez, founder, creator, and director, the Block Supporter Initiative in beautiful Camden, New Jersey. Good to see you, my friend Pino.
Thank you, Steve. It's always great to see you. And thank you for so much that you do to highlight these great programs that we have in our urban cities that are making a positive difference.
Well, you know, when I came down to Camden to see you and the folks who are working on this initiative, I was just so moved, so powerful. Describe for folks what the initiative is and why you care so much about the city you love. And I see it on your hat, the I Love Camden hat. Tell folks all about it.
Well, the Block Support Initiative was born out of waiting for positive things to happen as a result of the 1972 riots in Camden.
That's right.
That was the year. Okay, we've been faced with up to date 49 years of waiting for a positive difference to happen in these areas where we, where people usually riot and burn out their own neighborhoods and things like that. So the Block Support Initiative got tired of waiting. We saw all these negative things, and my children weren't able to stay home with me overnight, things like that. So I had to find a way to address the problems so that my children can come home and we can create a positive difference and change the culture of our residents. So by doing that, what we did was I researched all the problems of the neighborhood, the cries and things like that, whether it be drugs, whether it was educational or employment.
Violence.
And what I did after that was I looked at the resources to find out where are these locations of all these resources that address these issues. And I found that mostly in urban areas or in any area, when you have these cries and these problems in these areas, what you find is that if you research, you'll find that there is a lot of support for all these cries and all these problems. The problem is that we need to get them to step up more than what they have done and do their part and think outside the box on how they can do this. So it started by creating flower boxes and working with the residents, a positive, direct, immediate impact right in front of their homes. So it creates pride, respect, responsibility with a long-term accountability.
Pino, let me jump in here because when I came down to visit you a couple of years ago, the issue of racial and social justice has always been important, but it has never been more important than it is today. So the issue of racial and social justice plays out in cities and communities across this nation. But in Camden, at least from what I saw, it appeared to be even more powerful and significant in terms of the police involvement, you and your brothers and sisters right there on the streets. Are we making real progress in that regard? And is your organization helping in that area?
Well, in my opinion, Steve, we are headed in the right direction with programs like the Block Support Initiative that will address immediate concerns right in front of your home because it's very important. Now, the cries for social justice and the problems that we're having today that came up just this year and things like that. Well, they've been throughout the years, but more so in the forefront now. Okay. Yes, I believe that all these concerns of injustice, racism, inequality, and all these things must be addressed. They must be addressed. But what I found was that most people are directing their energy towards the outside of their cities, okay, to try to change the culture. And what I want to say, okay, and Camden being the prime example, okay, is that you have to start in your cities, okay? Because a lot of times what we face in cities like Camden, and when you riot and you burn out your neighborhoods, is that you have to look for money to rebuild. Okay?
That's right.
I get that, but the problem stands where the money comes in most of the time from special interests and corporations, okay? And just like Camden, we're waiting. It's been 49 years, and it has.
And that's not going to your community. As I saw your community, that money's not going directly to where your neighborhood is.
No, it does not. It usually, this is what happens when they reach out for money. What happens is that, and this is my opinion, and what I see, what happens is that these corporations and these special interests will provide the funding, but they start a new neighborhood on the outside. They start from the outside, okay? And either work their way in and move out the existing neighborhoods that have burned out and have these concerns. Instead of addressing them, they move you right on out. So, you know, when other cities like that have these concerns like rioting and burning out and things like that, they have to now focus, okay, on their government right in their cities. Because
Pino, sorry for interrupting. Is that why you're pushing voting so much?
Absolutely, because we have to go out and vote. We have to make a difference. And if you come out your door and you don't like what you've been seeing for decades and decades, okay, then it starts right there. What we always see, Steve, and I just want to make this point, is that mostly in urban cities, just like Camden, our children and our adults, our mothers and fathers are looking for ways, and our children are looking for ways to make it in life, right? And make it better for themselves. To what? This is what you hear, to come out of the city, to leave the city, okay? That is unacceptable. What we need to do is we need to make sure that we encourage them to make it. We all want our children to make it, but we need to encourage them to change the status quo in our own neighborhoods first. And
I'm tight on. One second. I'm so sorry for interrupting you. You make so much sense. What you say matters so much. But I see the Russell Berrie Making a Difference Award right over your right shoulder. Right. In the minute that we have left, tell everyone what that award meant and means to you and your team.
Well, just to sum it up, the Russ Berrie Making a Difference Foundation awarded me the opportunity to be able to continue the great work that I'm doing. Okay, I have used a lot of those.
It's a cash award. You were using your own money. You still use your own money.
And right now we're almost out of money because I've been using my own money, but we have hope. Okay. And I just came back to my own area. North Camden is working with Camden Lutheran Housing and sponsoring the program there. Of course, they're doing some modifications right now because of COVID, but we're hopeful that they can move on next year full steam. But now we have a sponsor here, Landing Square West Residents Association, and we're moving forward here with one of our council person that just yesterday speaking to this young lady named Sheehan. Yep. She sounded just like me. She wanted to make a difference, and I'm hopeful that she can.
Hey, Pino, you make a difference every day, and you're going to inspire others by watching this to continue to, or to at least try to make a difference in their communities. That is Pino Rodriguez. He's in Camden. He loves his city, as you can see. We're proud to recognize him with 2018 Russell Berrie Making a Difference Award. Take care, my friend. I look forward to coming down and seeing you in Camden when we can be together all, safe. Take care, Pino.
Thank you, sir. We're doing great work. Follow up with us, and you'll see the difference that we continue to make. Thank you.
Thanks, Pino. Keep fighting. We'll be right back after this.
To watch more one-on-one with Steve Adubato, find us online and follow us on social media.
Welcome back, folks. Let me introduce Captain Bill Sheehan, Hackensack Riverkeeper. He's Captain Bill. He was recognized with the 2006 Russell Berrie Award for making a difference. Good to see you, Captain Bill.
Good to see you, Steve.
I want to make sure people who may not know what the Hackensack Riverkeeper is find out right now. Tell them.
Well, Hackensack Riverkeeper is a nonprofit organization I founded in 1997. The mission is to protect, preserve, and restore the natural living and recreational resources of the Hackensack watershed, period.
So much has gone on in that area, particularly in the last decade or so. Why is it important to everyone watching right now in the tri-state area, even if they don't live in the area you're describing?
Well, the Meadowlands is a regional wetland area, which is the estuary of the Hackensack River. And we devoted a great deal of our bandwidth to protecting and preserving the Meadowlands, and we were very successful at that. There's now over 8,000 acres of wetlands in permanent conservation here in the Meadowlands. And also upriver, we have a Green Acres easement has been placed upon all of the watershed properties around our reservoirs to guarantee clean drinking water for people. And generally speaking, we've been on the beat, on the job, doing environmental enforcement, either through our own attorneys or through the Division of Criminal Justice at the Attorney General's office, and of course with the state DEP and the EPA. We've gotten people to realize that this river is not an open sewer, that it is a natural resource. And right. We have thousands of people every year now that are coming out to actually recreate in our watershed.
But you know what's interesting? I mean, so much of what you do is environmental education. You take people on tours, and they have to be there physically. Mm-hmm. We're taping this on October 1st, the fall of 2020. COVID is painfully all too real for us. What impact has it had on the work that you and your colleagues are doing?
Well, it's had some profound impact because, in 2015, we were able to acquire 2 new boats, 30-foot pontoon boats, so that we could comfortably take somewhere between 10 to 12 people out on the river at a time. And now, because of COVID and because of social distancing, we've had to limit the number of people going out on the river with us to maybe 5 or 6 at a time, which it cuts our impact in half, basically. But I refuse to give up doing the job completely, because even if I have to do it one person at a time, that's my mission, is to bring people into the fold.
What's always struck me about you, and I remember meeting you at the awards in 2006, and by the way, this is part of a series called 25 for 25, the Russell Berrie Foundation celebrating 25 years of the Making a Difference Awards. Your passion, where does it come from? Your passion for this?
Well, I've lived in Secaucus most of my life, on the Hackensack River, grew up watching the natural resource values of the river being diminished by developers, by polluters, even by government. And people were just disregarding this river. And, I remember being loaded into a car when I was a kid and have to endure like a 3-hour ride on the parkway in the summer heat in order to get to clean water. And I've always felt that we should have that kind of clean water in our backyard too. We are one state, New Jersey, and everybody in New Jersey deserves clean water. And, the water quality in the Hackensack is better now than it's been in my lifetime. And people are starting to embrace that fact. And, we hold a fishing derby every year now where people actually catch fish. There are fish in the river again. We don't let them eat them, of course. We tell them throw those fish back.
But there are fish.
But there are fish. And, there's over 275 species of birds and other critters that use the Meadowlands and use the Hackensack River watershed and share it with the humans that live here.
Bill, let me ask you this. First of all, kayak use is way up. You also your organization faced a fire at your location there. But put things in context. When you won the award back in 2006, early on in this 25-year process, what did it mean? What does it mean?
Oh, it means when you get recognition from the community that you're working in, it verifies that you're on the right track. It makes you want to do better. And that's what it did for me. When I received the award, it was First, it was a surprise. And second, it was very well appreciated. And like I said earlier, it made me want to be a better riverkeeper.
By the way, you rebuilt, the fire happened when? In May?
May 16th. That was the,
I'm really sorry.
yeah, the afternoon. I had just gotten done doing a whole bunch of other things, and I was getting ready to sit down and relax for a few minutes, and the phone rang, and I had to jump in the truck and drive up to Hackensack, and all the way up the road, I could see this column of smoke rising into the air. It was heartbreaking.
But you're rebuilding with green technology, correct?
Yeah, we have, you know, right now we're waiting on permits from the city of Hackensack. Another byproduct of the coronavirus outbreak is the fact that all of the inspectors that work for the city are working from home, more or less.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's not like you can just go to their office and say, hey, how about that permit, you know? But I have a general contractor, a roof contractor, a floor contractor, HVAC, plumbing, electric. They're all waiting to go to work. And we have, you know, pretty much everything that we have to do to the building to make it inhabitable. We have that already on our docket, but we're waiting for the permits.
You know, there's no aspect of our lives that hasn't been affected by COVID, but I know that Captain Bill Sheehan and the Hackensack Riverkeeper, Captain Bill, if you will keep fighting and doing what he's doing to make a difference and to protect our environment. And that's why he was recognized with the Making a Difference Awards in 2016 by the Russell Berrie Foundation. Hey, Captain Bill, thanks so much for being with us.
Oh, thank you, Steve. I'll come back anytime, you know that.
You got it. I'm
right.
Steve Adubato. We'll be right back.
To watch more One-on-One with Steve Adubato, find us online and follow us on social media.
Welcome to Uncut. I'm Steve Adubato. This is a series of interviews you're doing called 25 for 25. Yes, it's a series that recognizes the winners of the Russ Berrie Making a Difference Awards 25th anniversary. So 25 for 25. And one of these 25 folks we're going to introduce to you right now is someone I met in 2019, as I have been honored to host that event every year. And she is Melina Garcia, Executive Director and founder of UCMP. Good to see you, my friend.
So nice to see you again, Steve. Thank you so much for having me.
I'll never forget when I met you, and it seems like a longer time ago as we're doing this remotely. We were together on that stage up at Rampo. It was a wonderful event. What is the essence of this program, and why does it matter so much to kids?
So what we do is we build children orchestras as young. We receive kids as young as 3, all the way through their school years. And it's very affordable. It's practically free. We give them free instruments, free materials, and we give them the opportunity to participate in a different variety of activities performing in New York and New Jersey.
You know, in the midst of this global pandemic, it's changed everyone's lives. I mean, normally you and I would be in the studio right now doing this.
Correct.
At NJTV. Our sisters and our brothers and sisters in public broadcasting, but we're doing this remotely. Well, you've had to change. You've had to be virtual. You've had to have these children and teaching them about music, getting them engaged in music. How the heck are you doing that?
Well, this has been such a roller coaster for everybody. It's been so challenging, to say the least. What we had to do was, in the middle of March, we had to switch and begin doing things virtually. And to teach orchestral music and an instrument virtually is very, very challenging. However, I always say that I'm like, I don't know who to thank, but maybe a higher power. We were able to do things so seamlessly and switched from night to day, literally on March 11th. On the 12th, I closed the program in person, and I said, I'm not taking any chances here. And we were able to switch to virtual learning immediately. And we have had 90 to 95% participation rate. The students are involved. The parents are ever more involved in their student learning. So we have been so happy to do what we are doing and been able to continue despite all the challenges, and there have been many.
And that includes fundraising, right?
Fundraising is the hardest, I have to say. I mean, our mission has continued. You know, we haven't missed a beat. We have not had to close any days. But fundraising it's the most challenging part, our ability to even hold a fundraiser.
Sure.
Everything has changed. We were so lucky that we actually held our fundraiser on March 11th for this year. And now we're just preparing to see how we're going to do it moving forward.
Well, you can tell that, by the way, you have virtual recitals, I know, as well. So when you're doing a virtual recital and it's on the internet and we're using whatever technology you're using, how understanding are people that it's different and it's not always going to be perfect, right?
Right. So we had a wonderful entire week of recitals in June, as you mentioned. And yes, people were very embracing. The kids, first of all, they were so happy to perform. They have been so happy to continue to have a little sense of normalcy. And that's what I want everybody to understand, that kids are being impacted in so many different levels. And sometimes us as adults, we forget, we can rationalize things and we can put things on perspective, and we understand that this is a really hard situation we're living in. But for kids, it's really, really hard, and it's affecting them emotionally, psychologically, in all aspects of their lives. So when I told them that, we were going to have a recital, they were excited, they were happy. And what we did for every day from June 15th through the 19th, we got on for 1 hour and groups of students played and people joined us, and it was amazing, Steve. It really was amazing, even with the glitches.
I'm sorry for interrupting. As I listen to you, I'm remembering why the Russell Berrie Foundation recognized you in 2019.
Thank you.
Let me ask you something. First of all, what did that, being there on that stage with everyone else and being recognized with that award for making a difference, what did it mean to you, the organization, and what impact has it had moving forward?
Well, that day was really so special for me, for, as you remember, my daughter, my family, everybody in the program. To be recognized by Russ Berrie was, in the amount that it was, I was very taken aback. I was surprised. I was so happy and grateful. And ever since then, the Russ Berrie Foundation has been there every step of the way, supporting us in different ways. Even putting together a directory. We had in January, we also came together. They were trying to do workshops, technical assistance.
Yep.
I mean, they are really phenomenal, a phenomenal foundation, and we are so grateful to be part of that new family with the Russ Berrie.
By the way, real quick, what would you say to the foundation on their 25th anniversary?
I say congratulations. Thank you so much for highlighting the work that all of us are doing in New Jersey. Even if we're a small or a big organization, what you guys do really does make a huge difference in all our lives.
We're in this together, aren't we, Melina?
That's correct. That's our motto.
And the role of the philanthropic community through the Russell Berrie Foundation, the Making a Difference Award. Again, that's why 25 for 25. The other thing, real quick, before I let you go, is we, at our not-for-profit organization, supported by the Russell Berrie Foundation, what it's done for us is it's introduced us to extraordinary people like yourself, who we get to talk to listen to learn from. And I know this. I know you're inspiring other people just by being a part of 25 for 25. So I get off my soapbox. Melina Garcia, you are the kind of hero that the organization wanted to recognize. And I wish you and your colleagues all the best in the difference you're making every day. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Steve. I really appreciate it. Thank you to the Russ Berrie Foundation.
Well, our honor as well. Thanks so much. I'm Steve Adubato. We'll see you next time.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by the Russell Berrie Foundation, Hackensack Meridian Health, PNC, Grow Up Great, Seton Hall University, Suez North America, the Turrell Fund, supporting Reimagine Childcare, United Airlines, the Fidelco Group, and by NJ Best. Promotional support provided by NJ On Air and by Meadowlands Chamber.
This is the Seton Hall story, one that comes to life every day on our campus. This is the place where great minds discover, innovate, collaborate, and find their true calling. This is the place where passion has a purpose, where learning inspires leading. The bonds we make, the values we teach, inspire our community to take heart and take action. This is Seton Hall University. This is what great minds can do.